Sure, I could not make this video because an alarm just went off and maybe it was a sign not to make it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Not every black man gets wrongfully imprisoned. Sometimes Lil Ray Ray had to go to jail, okay? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We can recognize that police are fucking stupid, that prison systems are oppressive as fuck and made to exploit people for free labor and terrible, and like how the justice system is flawed, but we can also recognize that it's like, okay, no one asked him to molest that young girl. No one asked him to rob that bank. No one asked him to mug that old lady. Like, I remember actually in my area, like, a few years back, during the whole George Floyd protests and shit, this woman that I knew, I followed her online. She basically was posting about how some random older black guy who seemed homeless or whatever was trying to steal her motorcycle. So she calls out from her apartment, "Sir, please don't try to steal my bike, that's mine." And then he's like, "Fuck you, bitch. Kill yourself." And so she picks up the phone and she seems like she's calling 911. And this nigga immediately goes, "You gonna call the cops on me? A black man?" And then she's like, "No, sir, I would never do that to you. Just please don't take my bike." And then this nigga goes from like pity eyes to like, "Huh, yeah, bitch, you ain't gonna do shit. You ain't gonna do shit." Matter of fact, and then he starts walking up her steps and actually tries to push his way into her apartment. And then she refuses, so he smacks her ass up a bit and she pushes him off. This nigga gets so mad that he couldn't just successfully rape this girl, and then he just goes back to her bike and he's still mad that he can't steal it successfully, so he breaks the fucking headlights on her motorcycle. And it's like, and so she had her GoFundMe up for obvious reasons, and she was also, it's like, come on now. Also, I'll put it this way. I forget how you say this girl's name. I think it was like Oluwakente or Oluwatonye. Sorry. Okay, so I'll say it. This black girl, basically, she posted online for ages. She was about the same age as me, so she would have been 24 if she was still alive, but she died during the pandemic. Why? Because she was fucking murdered by, like, she was homeless, and then a so-called good caring man who I think was a priest or whatever took advantage of her and raped her in his house and chained her up and then like murdered her to get away with the fact that he raped her and all that. And so she sadly passed away. And I remember how fucked up and disturbing it was because her family, who did not care about her and was the reason she was homeless in the first place, they made a GoFundMe like, "Please, please, let's raise money for the sake of her funeral services, blah 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 blah," just for them to not have a funeral. And also they were also raising money for her brother's college fund, and people donated money en masse, tons and thousands of dollars given to this young black man who was very much still alive and to her family, just for the news to come out and people had to say, "No, Oluwatonye was fucking homeless because she was getting raped by her brother." And the mom knew, and the mom was abusive and an enabler, and was getting mad because she was trying to defend herself. So they both beat her ass and tossed her out. So then she left. She left, and that's why she was homeless in the first place. She was escaping her rapist, abusive brother that she was tormented her all her life. And then she dealt with one man trying to molest her, and then the final guy who sadly killed her. And then the reward that and the justice served is that she's dead. Her family gets to get away with the crime, and her brother now gets his college paid for so he can go to school and have a fuck ton of money to live his life. He got rewarded. I'm just saying, people need to stop claiming that systems tear down black men. Because it's like, how do I put this? They do at times, but I'll just put it this way. Sometimes niggas did shoot the girl. Sometimes niggas did beat up the girl and sex traffic her. Sometimes niggas did, like, yeah. I remember this one story I'll bring up. This guy got shot by cops. And people were trying to be like, "It's just like George Floyd. Bring it to the man." But you know what happened? The video came out. And it's a video where the cops are like, "Please, back up, back up, back up." Guns drawn, multiple cops saying back up. And this nigga comes out his car. I forget if it was a machete or a knife, but it's a huge fucking weapon. And he just starts walking to them with a fucking knife, murderous look in his eyes. And so, like, I don't think they needed to shoot him. They could have taken him down non-lethally. But at the same time, nigga, you're trying to stab some cops with guns. You bought a knife to a gunfight. And then on top of that, it's like, oh, and also on top of that, they were trying to arrest the dude because they were trying to arrest him for raping a teenage girl. No, not even teenage. I forget if she was 10 or 13. Either way, he raped a young girl. And he was like, "Cool, I'm going to try to stab the cops then. I'm going to slowly walk up to the cops with a fucking, like, as if I'm Michael fucking Myers. with a dead look in my eyes, knife in hand, I'm gonna strut up to them confidently, thinking I can just successfully stab an officer with all these guns drawn around me and get away with it, and then get away with the crime. And it's like, no, you got executed in the street. Did you like? They probably could have taken him down non-lethally, but at the same time, okay, but you raped a girl. I don't really give a shit. And I know it's like, oh well, why? Like, I get it. On one hand, the cops should have non-lethally taken him down and done due process, all that shit. But on the other hand, he didn't have any sense at all. And I'm just saying, I don't like when people are like, ooh, the systems take down the young black men, because sometimes they do it to themselves. Sometimes niggas are just rapists or abusers and terrible people. Not everyone's a good person. I'm just saying. Like, come on now. Like, not everyone is like Tiger Woods where they get taken down for some bullshit. Sometimes people are fucking OJ Simpson where it's like, yeah, you did that shit, nigga. You're going to jail for a reason. I'm just saying. Bye.